Hello, everybody. Welcome to my episode of Vindication. You heard it right. All of you are wrong, and I was correct about this.
Oh,
book.
right.
Vindication. My name is Carlton.
Oh, and I'm Kennedy.
And welcome back to Byline Podcast, a podcast where bisexuals actually read books.
Because they don't.
Exactly.
Otherwise.
We are two bisexuals who read very different books. Kennedy more so classics, me so modern. I'm already sweating. And
hot.
we talk about it for the internet's entertainment. I'm going to turn the air back on. One second.
I didn't realize you also had a windmill.
How are you doing?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm doing pretty great. I'm, as you'll soon discover, have not read any more of this book because I have just been shackled to my desk by editing.
Oh. Wait, did you not finish it?
No. I told you not to rush it. You did.
I sure did.
Yeah, look at it.
I sure did.
I did reopen it and try to pick up from where I was. I'm too distracted.
Wait, at what page?
I was on chapter 22, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, I'm like 76% through
I
or
am
so.
deceased. What the hell are we going to talk about today?
What do you mean? You read it.
Okay. So yeah, we're reading John of John per Carlton's. You were ahead of the times.
Well, I saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Because of the subject matter, the themes, the writing. I had never read his. Have you read his other books?
No.
So his first book
Won the Booker Prize.
Yes, his first book.
Crazy.
Shuggy Bane. Recently, obviously, this book was. I say obviously, but I guess to me, it was a shoo-in that this book was going to be at least longlisted for the Booker Prize. So do you care about the Booker Prize?
Do I care about the Booker Prize? Yes. Mainly because, like I said, I think it has a duty to, do two things at once, in that it brings things to my desk that I hadn't seen before, but it also, affirms that, to your point, things like John of John, I knew I didn't know, but I suspected The Palm House by Gwendolyn Riley would do well. I'm not surprised that Elizabeth Strout is on here. I really like her writing, though I did start to read The Things We Never Say, and I didn't love it.
Interesting.
Have you read her, Elizabeth Strout?
No. I've seen her. I just found that book, Tell Me Everything, on the side of the road the other day. So I have the Booker Prize list pulled up here, and I was shocked by how many books I hadn't heard of on this list. And then I found out the Emma Cline book, Switzy, isn't out yet. Because I was like, how do I not know an Emma Cline book isn't out?
Well, and neither of us read Lost Lamb, did we?
No. So I was going to bring that list up later. That is on the Center for Fiction first novel prize book, which is another, at least in New York City, I think, prestigious list.
Yeah.
And it was the same case of I didn't know any of these. Personally, I find a lot of new voices through their lists and through their fellowships. These smaller books that aren't Lost Lambs, I didn't know about them, but I'm going to get several of these, especially this book, To Stay, which is, the first word is an ensemble cast. I was like, I'm sold. I don't care. And it's just people living in this area and
the baker, the realtor, the poet, the gardener, the frustrated artist.
I am sold on this. I'm so excited for this. Unbound, Upward Bound. This one is already out, and it's just about a guy who works at a autistic daycare.
Oh.
Yeah. An adult autistic daycare. Yeah, very interesting.
Oh, like Outward Bound.
Yeah. Oh. What is that?
Outward Bound is I did it in high school. They take high school students, and I think just any group of people go out into the wilderness for upwards of 7 to 10 days with a couple of field experts, and you just camp and find yourself, and you carry all of your equipment on your back and Yeah.
Was that fun?
No. I mean, yes, in that it was like a truly memorable. I'll never forget that
Yeah.
experience. I did start my period the first day of camping.
For the first time?
No. Oh my,
okay.
can you imagine? I got it though. And did I have, I think I had tampons, but not enough. And the first night, I was in my sleeping bag and I bled through my pants, of which I only had 2 because we
Cool.
were camping.
Cool.
So then for the rest of the week, half of the time I wore like bloodied, soiled period
And
pants.
we all go through that.
And we all go through that.
Coming of age.
Yeah, and because we had a limited supply of toilet paper, I could only like, I was pretty much like a bloody mess the whole time I was out there.
Is that your most scarring period experience?
No. No, it is not.
Being a woman in the world must be tough. Let me tell you.
It ain't easy. It ain't easy.
So the Booker Prize, for those who aren't aware, I've always described it as like the Oscars of books. Like, it's not, the Pulitzer is more so way more overly pretentious.
That's like the SAG Awards.
Yeah. Yes. Very much. Yeah, literally, yes. Booker Prize is more so, they kind of have a commercial like audience in mind, at least when doing the lists. Not necessarily with the winners, but and again, I think that's how the Oscars goes.
Yeah.
Like, the list is kind of less pretentious than the winner.
So do they have the judges announced yet?
Yeah.
Who are they? Mary Beard.
Oh, you've heard of Mary Beard?
I have. She's a classicist.
Oh.
And Rebecca Liu. How do I know her? Oh, and Patricia Lockwood. I know all of these people.
Oh. She's a critic.
I'm
editor.
familiar with her. And then Patricia Lockwood, remind me, is an author herself, no? Who are the other ones?
Raymond
Antrobus? British Jamaican. Poet, educator, and writer.
Cool.
Diagnosed as deaf.
Oh.
Explores sound, language, identity, and memory.
Cool.
He's very handsome.
Yeah.
Not that that matters. Oh, and Jarvis Cocker. Incredible name. Pulp! I love Pulp! Oh wait, this is a great, that's so interesting.
Yeah. Now, my
Yeah.
favorite award is the National Book Award, because I feel like that is more so like the Emmys of books, where that's like, they very much lean into commercial entertaining, but
Yeah.
also literary.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite, because
The best of both
pretty
worlds.
much any of the books on that list, especially the winner, you're probably gonna enjoy.
Well, of these, if you had to just take a swing, who do you think would win? Knowing nothing about the majority.
Knowing nothing about the majority.
I'm curious about Helen of Nowhere because I really, really like Fitzcarraldo as a publisher.
Yeah. If I took an hour to really just look into the background of all these authors, I think I could make a more educated guess.
Yeah.
Honestly, something's telling me Emma Cline has a big chance to win, because I know she is very commercial from what I've seen, and I think it'll be, see, now I'm thinking with my Oscars, like the political brain of mine, like,
And they're not going to give it to Douglas Stuart again.
see, Douglas Stuart, I would say he's a shoo-in, but I'm like, I feel like in the book community they like to spread the love.
They do.
Not fairly,
It's
but
really
a bit
rare to
more.
get yeah. I'm going to say, just because I love the publisher again, I'm going to say Helen of Nowhere.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's
Cool.
go McKenna Goodman.
Cool. Who, for shits and giggles, do you think will win the first novel prize? And could it be Lost Lambs?
Sorry, I'm such a hater. I really am. I truly know none of these.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just gonna say Lost Lambs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't read it, but
I mean, everyone says it's amazing.
I mean, listen.
It's just that wait.
Yes.
This is not the same person. I am a fool.
As
So this is Madeline Cash.
right.
But Switzy, what did Emma Cline write?
She wrote the Guest or something. Yeah.
Oh, my bad, guys. My bad.
Oh, that's
I'm
who you
getting
were
my
thinking.
white women confused. Whoopsie. How are you? Otherwise.
Editing, as we've been talking about. Kennedy read my book, and She's been gassing me up, so.
I have, but it's well deserved.
Yeah. Speaking of, you actually like this book.
I loved this book. I can't believe you didn't finish it.
I just want to be known the amount of times that I was like, hey, this isn't like a book club. We don't have to delve into it. We could just talk about it generally.
I wanted to finish it because I was by page. Actually, it's so funny that you stopped where you did, because I think at that point the plot really heats up.
Yeah.
It gets cooking. Do you know much about him?
So I did watch the episode that he did with Jack Edwards. Jack Edwards interviewed him for this book talk. Douglas Stuart is Scottish.
Mm-hmm. He lives here.
I know he lives here, but I guess he would consider himself American now.
I think so.
Yeah. And he's a gay man, like the main character in this book, and married.
Cute.
And much like the character in this book, he did go to school for fashion.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
I don't think necessarily for weaving, but for fashion nevertheless. Like we said earlier, his first book, Shuggy Bane, it won the Booker Prize.
Yeah.
And my issue with Douglas, I love you. Literally, if you ever somehow see this, I was one of the first people on the internet being like, I mean, obviously you're a household name, but anyway. My only issue is that this might just be a thing of many, many authors, of their books and short stories tend to be around one central thing. Mm-hmm. And going back to Douglas Stuart, I think that's my issue with wanting to go back to his other books. They're just sad gay things. Let the facade down for a second and be like, I don't know if I'm going to finish this book, because it's too sad.
You really should finish it.
I know, I probably will.
Yeah. I mean, spoilers, you might be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. It's just...
It's brutal. Don't get me... Yeah,
long,
it's brutal.
And so I had to describe this book for a book publicity job application the other day. And they were like, describe how you would like recommend the book, or like describe a book. And I was like, John of John is probably my favorite book of the year, because it simultaneously is such a story of just hardships, gay, like queer hardships, like queer being lost as a queer person, and especially like in the town you're from. But it also gives so much hope, like queer hope, and there's a pockets of joy, like when the dad and his secret lover are able to like slip away, and just those quiet moments that he's able to like depict really made me tear up, like really got me. I foresee a very, very, very near future. I started over again because I'm happy to start it over, and then I just fly through it this time. I think last time I was just, it was a lot to just come to. I really had to pause because of my own queer hardships with my dad.
Yeah, of course, I was going to ask you about that.
And then like...
Mississippi being... there is so much
literally
in common.
Like I went away to like the bigger city for like a queer infested industry and queer infested major of a college, and then went back home for a bit, like to small town. I'm from Mississippi, like small town family, and everyone, you know, has their own stories and connections, and then you're just like, wow, nothing has changed here. Nothing has changed here, but I feel so incredibly different that I'm having a panic attack being back here, not because of my queerness, but because I can't believe everything is the same, everybody's the same, there's the same dramas and issues. Anyway, it felt so personal.
Yeah, and I imagine the dynamics of religiosity.
Yeah.
There's a quote actually that makes me think of you now that I'm oh, and I look at that, the first one I turned to. On page 32, this is Cal talking, and we'll also briefly describe the characters and mise-en-scène, etc. Here at the edge of Scotland, he had been happy as a child. The shore and the hillsides were his to roam, and even if he could not believe every word of the scripture, he could feel how small and insignificant he was, and understand how all this must have been created by a God much larger than him. It was only as a teenager that he started to feel like he was the bigger thing, and that it was the world around him that had grown too small. I guess, did you feel that way?
Oh, girl, yeah.
Back in Mississippi?
I've been I don't think I was talking to the mic. Yeah, girl. I've been dreaming of New York City since I was at least a teenager.
Yeah.
I think this book put into words so many emotions that I have felt.
Yeah.
That I have never known how to put into a short story or put into a novel in such just like beautiful, eloquent, ways.
This is about a father and son who are somewhat estranged after Cal, the son, has moved away to art school. He's returned home under the pretense of his grandmother Ella being somewhat at death's door. His father has told him over the phone that her feet are purple, and that she's worse for wear, and it might be a good idea if Cal were to return home for a period of time, having now graduated. Cal, not at all successful. He's couch surfing, he's eating other people's food, he has no prospects for a job after working in the textile school, and, has this, like, odyssey, taking, like, ferries and boats and buses back to this croft, which is, and I had to look this up for myself, I didn't really know what a Scottish croft was. They rent the land off of a landowner to, maintain and raise sheep, work the land, fish, etc. But they're this particular family, at least in the town in which they're from, is fairly low income. Again, there's like a dynamic between the landowners and the tenants. They are Calvinists. They're a very conservative strain of Presbyterians. And yeah, and then so Cal comes home, and he stays for a lot longer than he initially thought he would.
And can you tell us about how the book starts? Because it has one of the best openings. Some of this book, it's kind of coming back to me, is so good. But it starts in such a specific... It's when he's in the phone booth talking to his dad.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have weekly, like, prayers over the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, my
No, you describe it then.
I mean, that's basically it. Yeah. It's just such...
They sing. They sing together over the phone.
Yeah. And it's like a weekly thing he does to, like, appease his dad. But then you get through subtext that he actually... wants to do this because he wants to feel close to his dad, and even though estranged, still holds a really weird love that he can't even describe for his dad.
Yeah, it is a weird love.
I wonder if this start was the first draft, or if it took drafts to get here, because it feels like such a great poetic start to the novel of like, we're just thrown into the scene. That's the first scene, is him on the phone with his dad. Immediately brings in the themes of the strict religion upbringing, the connection between the two of them. I believe in the first chapter, Cal's also talking about like parties he could be at, or other things that are going on that he could be at, or he's going to after. But you see that he's making time to do this. It's a very intentional thing. It's not accidental that he's just here. Like Kennedy,
and he's not begrudging about it either. He's fully. I think you would imagine that if your very religious father and your not very religious self were to come into contact with one another, you would be kind of like dragging your feet. And Cal, here and throughout the novel, other than his initial return to church, is like fairly participatory.
Yeah.
He's not glib about it.
Yeah.
He respects the fact that his father takes his faith so seriously, even if he himself can't, or is thinking about how he chooses to believe in God.
Yeah. And like Kennedy brought up earlier, his dad brings up his grandmother's feet being purple. Cal takes this so seriously because they're from a family of, I think, generations of weavers, and so Cal takes this
very precise.
Yes, it's super precise. And so Cal takes this so seriously because he's like, well, my dad,
he knows exactly what color
he knows what color. And then he gets there and he's like, her feet are fine, and you figure out it's just a ruse to get him back. Yeah,
but whose ruse it was, I think, is because did you reach this part?
I think
where
so.
she's painted her feet.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, that's crazy.
Spoiler. Yeah. Can I spoil it for you? Yeah. So Ella. So to Carlton's point, again, when Cal comes home, he sees her feet. They are like a little off color, but pretty much fine. And so to your point, yes, you think that the dad has lied to get his son to come home, when in fact it was Ella herself who painted her feet purple so that John would tell Cal that he needed to come home.
Damn.
Yeah.
And to your point, I do love Ella. As you read in the summary,
she is a zany woman.
I do love Ella. I think the parts of the novels that lost me a lot were, like, I remember parts of Ella just going on the bus, and I understand that it's like to tell us more about Ella and like the slowness of the island without like showing it to us rather than telling us, but it just felt incredibly slow and incredibly boring.
That's fair.
In a book that's already so long.
I understand that. I think the more I read, the more I've been pro long book.
Right.
Because, and even here I think it failed to do this for me, endings always feel so rushed. Yeah. I think it depends where it feels long. And to your point, for me, I think the last 30 pages should have been another 30.
Really?
Yeah. And then the parts that you're talking about, I think, could have been whittled down a bit more precisely.
I see.
Who we haven't mentioned is Cal's mother and John's pretty much ex-wife, who you find out pretty early on. Yeah, no,
go ahead. Sorry, I'm just reacting. Go ahead. Because that whole relationship killed me.
Yeah, so, and like, I'll back up again. This novel is so layered. Yeah. There's so many themes. There's so many different relationships. And above all, there are so many secrets.
Yeah.
And this was a theme that I drew out in my notes. Everyone thinks that they are in control of themselves and each other. It's all like power grabs. It's all people trying to pull the wool over their son's eyes, their grandmother's eyes, their wife's. Like, there's this one-upping, and the secrets and the plot twists come out when you realize that they aren't in control. Someone else has done something to them. It's a lot of backhanded deceit, some of which is meant to protect, some of which is meant to be like truly undercutting. One of the things that you know has happened is that Cal's mother left the family at when Cal was very young.
Yeah.
For reasons that Cal didn't really understand growing up. They haven't formally divorced because it seems as though that's looked down upon in I want to say the parish, but the congregation. And his mother still lives in the town with them, but on the other side of it. Come to find out a couple of things. And sorry, this is all going to be spoilers. Come to find out, one, that the mother has taken up a relationship with Cal's father's brother.
Yeah.
With Cal's uncle, is no contact with John, the father, and is pretty low contact with Cal. Mostly because Cal, who was raised essentially by his father and his grandmother, Ella, the grandmother also is the wife's mom. It's not John's mom. So that's the other dynamic, is that these three people, Cal, John, and Ella, are all living in this extremely small house together. And John and Ella, the dad and the grandmother, hate each other.
Yes.
Hate each other. So much so, there's a lot of what is called early in the novel double speak. So another character, Ian, is that what we should call him?
Sure.
Is that how you pronounce it? There's two N's. Ian, who, as far as we know for some part of the novel, is John's friend and neighbor. Him and his brother live together with their father, and because of treason and injustices between the two of them, they literally do not speak to each other. For like decades, these two brothers, again, who have lived in the same house for the majority of their life, do not communicate at all. And so it's mentioned that when you go over to visit them, you have to have two simultaneous conversations. Absurd. And in the same way, this doublespeak is kind of replicated in John and Cal and Ella's household, wherein John and Cal will speak to each other in Gaelic, and Cal and Ella will speak to each other in English, thinking that Ella doesn't know Gaelic, when in fact she does know Gaelic, and that's also...
Yep.
So it's just, it is madness. Yeah. It is true, like, small town antics. Yeah. So I just went on a long tangent, but...
So good.
Sorry, I'll take us back to the fact that, again, Cal's mother has formed this relationship with his uncle. Mm-hmm. It is important to note that both Johns are queer. Yeah. Which is, and you find this out pretty early on in the novel.
Second chapter.
Second chapter. Yeah. There's like inklings
and the way it's revealed.
It's beautiful.
And so on the way to pick up Cal, John the father runs into Ian. Ian's like, I dropped him off, whatever. John the father goes home with Ian, mm-hmm. and then it's, at this point you don't know he's gay, mm-hmm. the father. So it seems like just a visiting the Ian family. I forget their last name, but the family. And the chapter ends with them kissing behind the house. Yeah. And then the narrative or one of the characters is like, they kiss how they always have or something like that. And that's when you realize this whole, like, the whole themes of truths and lies and how Cal feels ostracized for being gay and different and all these things, but his father, like, how many things could be solved just by letting the truth out?
Yeah, thinking that they know what's best.
Yeah.
Thinking that, like, they have to be in control of every variable, and again, in this small town, I think there's a lot to risk. I mean, especially if you're as orthodox,
right,
and as Christian as they are, as John is.
But I feel like you were getting to the big reveal of, like, why she left, which was that part, again, how it was written.
Yeah.
Sent me. I literally, and for how prestigious Douglas Stuart is, for how long this book is, for how, like, well known he is, like, critically, award wise, I was so surprised by how accessible this book is, like, on the line level. Yeah. And like I don't know, and especially it taking place in Scotland, and like a small town in Scotland. He makes things very clear, but doesn't hit you over the head with this is the themes. It's just there's so many moments of him showing you sentimental things. The moment where Cal is back and he goes to so his father is explaining, we can't use machines, we can't use, like, electricity and everything. There's some sort of code.
Yeah, there's a weaver's code.
Where they have to
that was really interesting to read about. You could only have, it was like one weaver.
Yeah.
It was kind of early on. Yeah, there was a strict code: one loom per house, one weaver per cloth, and you have a family license, etc. It's an egalitarian system designed to give all islanders a chance to make a modest living. But John wants to break that code because he needs to make more money.
Yeah. And there's a point where Cal asks John, don't you ever get lonely? And John says, no, because I'm never really alone. And then Cal thinks he's talking about God because he's, so orthodox. But then John follows up with, because I talk to you. I'm gonna reread this book. I'm gonna restart this book. Oh, I'm remembering how good it is.
It is so good, and you're bringing up a really interesting. So John, Cal's father, is such an interesting character. Yes. He is so complicated. Yes. He's this like devoutly religious queer man in his early 50s, upper 40s, who's raised the son under the roof of his mother-in-law's house. And he, like Cal, struggles with the question of, like, does he want to be here? And I think every character wrestles with that question.
Oh, yeah.
Do they want to stay? Do they want to go?
They speak of Glasgow as if it's like, I don't know how to describe it other than like an alien planet. There's so many times in this novel where I'm like, oh, right, this takes place in a time where they have cell phones, because they just don't just don't use
You would
phones.
think they're in the 1850s.
It's so crazy.
It's such a remote place.
And the way that they live on this island is, I mean, just so stripped from the main.
They're living off the land.
Yeah,
they like truly are living off the land. Like they don't have central heating.
Yeah.
In most of the houses, and some of the the novel, over the course of it, which I would say it takes place over the course of less than a year, there's a trend of outsiders, you could say, like wealthy outsiders coming in, like renovating houses to make them chic or to come for retreats. And at the very end of the novel, if you don't mind me spoiling it, there's a question in the background of much of these pages of like whether the church is going to be sold, and they do end up selling the church to like a wealthy actress, I think, which will displace a lot of the community ties that bind these people together. And like Cal's mother, for instance, sells really overpriced soap to Americans abroad who like to claim their Scottish heritage and want to. There's a really funny
that scam baby.
Scam baby. She's one of the wealthiest people on the island. Yeah, so just like really interesting questions of money and not exploitation per se, but like tradition versus innovation. And there's mention too of like differences in quality of things. Like everybody wants things to be made quickly and cheaply, and they talk about their, Aran sweaters that require, hours and hours of hand labor and the minute attention that one pays to the colors in it. Yeah, it's really, really interesting, kind of like anthropologically speaking.
Do you have a favorite part?
Oh, so many. Really so many. There are so many scenes with Ella that are so amusing. She is so weird.
Yeah.
There's a scene where she has she's so kooky. Like, and to your point about kind of like the fact that this doesn't feel like it should be set in the 90s based on how Luddite everything feels, so too does Ella feel so misplaced. And part of her misplacement is that she truly feels like she doesn't belong. She was not born in this community. She married a man, John, who was from this town and elected to marry her after finding out that she was pregnant with another man's son. So anyways, so she was brought in here and has always felt very excluded. Anyways, there's a scene specifically where she's like, Cal asks her where like the yogurt that he likes is. And she's like, oh, well, I had to like hide it from you because you would have eaten it otherwise. And they kind of carry on with their conversation. And then a few pages later, Cal looks out the window. She's gone out to the river or the stream next to the house, and she's like digging through the water and pulls out the yogurt. Like, it's just so bizarre. And there's another scene where like she like puts a sheet over her head and just starts doing the dishes like a ghost. Like, she's so weird, and it's the best. But then back to his dad, like his dad being an abusive man. He, at multiple points in the novel, beats the living shit out of Cal, and Cal takes it, and people turn a blind eye, and like you I think your instinct is telling you to kind of to hate John, the father, but you can't, because you know him. You see his rage. You see how he can't overcome, how it overcomes him, and his struggle with his faith and right and wrong, and all of the things that he's suppressing within himself, and the love that he can't give Ian even though he wants to. And Cal is so sweet. Like, he's so unapologetically himself. One of the big conflicts in the novel, or like a conflict that represents much more than what it is his hair. Him choosing to bleach it and keep it long, and his father absolutely reviling it, and everyone calling him a girl, and for so much of that him choosing to like maintain that hairstyle is like his, not even just one true act of rebellion, one of many, but emblematic of him really putting his flag in the sand and saying, this is who I am, and you have to look at me even though you hate how I look. And mind you, we should say that like Cal isn't out in this community, but he's not in. Like, I think going back to the idea of control, both of like other people and people's perception of you, is that I think most people, his close family included, have an understanding that he's probably gay, but they don't talk about it.
Yeah. Douglas Stuart, in the interview, he was talking about doing research for the novel.
Yeah.
And he went to like remote part of Scotland for, I think he said like a month or a few months or something like that. I think how he stumbled upon the idea, or like at least a central theme of this novel, was when he was there, he noticed a lot of people living single, like in their own households there. And then he talked to a woman who, you know, obviously very religious, Orthodox, everything like that. And then he was like, hey, what's up with them? And she was like, oh, God hasn't blessed them with with their chosen one. And then he just offhandedly said, oh, maybe they're gay. She just gave a shocked expression and was like, maybe not. I don't think so.
That's interesting.
And I kind of got, like you were just talking about, the idea from the people in his community in this book of, especially Ella, they don't want to, you know, they don't want to have to go to the means that they don't want to go towards. But there's an understanding that it's not necessarily accepted. It's that complicated thing of, it's not necessarily accepted, but like we love you.
It's it's almost like the way that John kind of manages his queerness. I can't remember where he says it specifically, or maybe he says this towards the end of the novel in a conversation with Ella about Cal, which is that as long as he marries a nice girl, he'll find an outlet for all the other stuff. And so it's like, do it in secret, or like God will forgive it, so long as it isn't the frame upon which you live your life.
The weird, not even weird in a bad way, just weird in an interesting way about this novel is, while John is very like, we must keep this a secret to Ian, who is also part of the church, he's like, no, I want to run away with you. We can just go to Glasgow now and live a, you know, normal, but a life as gay men. Like, how are you so brave to have this? Yeah,
Ian is a remarkable character. He's probably my favorite.
I would agree. Every scene. So go into my favorite scene. So first, the scene where they, like, Ian's family is away. So he and John spend like a weekend, and then it's like John has to pretend to go look at something to fix in the bedroom, and then the scene ends with them going to the bedroom together. And then the part where Ian is like literally building him a shed or something, and under the pretense that he could feasibly live there, and thus they could live somewhat together. God, it just breaks my heart. And then John just turns away every single time. You're like, John, you don't deserve Ian. Like, and Ian's patience and real love for this person are really on display. They've been in love with each other for 40 years. Like, they are truly soulmates, and it's so frustrating, to your point. Like, anytime John spurns Ian's earnest advances to make their life better, you just shake your head. But then it's like you said earlier, you can't hate him, or I feel like I just can't hate him because he does have understand him. A lot on the line. I think he's a high-ranking person in the church, and when that's his life. I mean, like, yes, for us it's easy to say just go to Glasgow, but like, that's his whole life. This is all he's ever known. I do want to I want to pull out some of the lines that I thought made John so empathic and warm to me, which is that John says, how many nights had he prayed for an end to his torment being his love for Ian, and yet when the dawn came, how many hours had he spent thanking God for this man. Oh my God, put it in a vow. And then what was interesting, and I had noted this, is that
it was actually on page 296. Ian actually says the same thing, but in reverse.
Oh.
So John says that he goes to night troubled and wakes up grateful. And then on 296, Ian says, Ian thought of all the times he had prayed for opposing things and wondered if he had confused God. All of the nights he had begged God to bring John to him. Then in the sober light of morning, how he had begged God to save him from his sin, spare him from damnation.
Yeah.
And I thought that yin yang of both like the morning and the night within themselves, but then how it was like contrasted with each other, be like 100 pages apart from each other.
So good.
Douglas Stuart.
Yeah.
Give him the Booker, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, give him the Booker. The other thing that John had said, and I wrote this as like the thesis statement for the novel, for me at least, is that he was caught between his lover, his son, and his maker, and he was a disappointment to all.
Yeah.
Crushing
I know.
the writing.
Any final thoughts?
Oh my god, so many. I wish you have to read it because the ending is so worth it.
I'll finish it. Now, especially since you told me that it's worth it. Okay, I'll finish it.
It's so worth it.
Because I know I'll love it, and I'm pretty sure I'm just going to start it over because, God, I want to relive all of this.
Please do. I think, again, for me, like, yes, it's marketed as, like, duty, faith, love, religion, family, generational trauma, notions of home. For me, though, like, if I boil it down to one word, it's control. Like, it really,
for sure.
and like control, like how much control we have over ourselves, and then like predestiny, fate, and I don't know where it lands. I think because at the end, I won't spoil it, but like someone does wrangle themselves, like they overcome a roadblock that's inhibited their self-development. What would you give this, then? Not having finished it.
Already 5 stars.
Already 5 stars.
Even without finishing. Like, a torturous book that's going to scar me? And no. What would you give it?
Oh, I would give it... Well, on Fable, I gave it 4.
Damn, that's great.
I gave it 4 because... I think what I'm doing in this episode that I feel like I rarely do is talk about how much I love something. I feel like I'm apt to be a little bit more critical. The things that I don't like about it, like, really require the end reveals specifically. Mainly that I think they just happened very quickly, and there were, like, character decisions that I couldn't fully wrap my head around. And as much as I love the writing, it's not my favorite kind of writing. And while I think that there are really beautiful observations and lines in the book, there were some moments where I felt they were either a little heavy-handed or the clarity felt too jarring.
I pray for when Kennedy is like a famous editor or an agent or something. I pray for the person who she gives feedback for, because she gave me back my feedback, and then she was like, "Okay, first of all, I love that. I got to tell you this, but I have this." I was like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "Clarify this. Be more specific here." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's right." Which is literally the reason why I gave it to you, because I love how she's like, "I need these lines to be more specific." But I mean, I guess it's just like, it's a taste thing.
It's a taste thing. I think I almost get harsher on books that I really love because
I get that.
Like this, I'm like, oh, but like this could have been perfect.
Yeah.
I think for me, the plot and the storytelling do a lot of the heavy lifting here. I'll remember it for a long time. So next
Next, like, I guess medium project will be like, will be a close reading of Lonely Crowds. 3 parts, I think we're
3 parts will be the plan, because you're a jet setter.
Do you have any idea what it's about?
Literally none.
Okay, you're gonna like it.
Okay. Any last parting words?
Protect your children. Make sure they're in bed. And have a good night.
Have a good night.